So you want to own a hair salon. It's exciting, it's a little scary, and there are a lot of decisions that can shape your future for years to come. One of the biggest questions new and aspiring salon owners face is this: should you buy an existing salon or open a salon from scratch? Both paths can absolutely work, but they come with very different challenges, costs, and timelines. In this video, I'm going to walk you through both options in detail so you can choose the path that actually fits you, your budget, and your long-term vision. By the end, you should feel much clearer and more confident about which direction makes the most sense for your first salon. Let's start by getting really clear on what each option actually means. When you open a salon from scratch, you're starting with nothing but an idea. You're finding a location, negotiating a lease, planning and overseeing the build-out, buying all the equipment and furniture, setting up your software and systems, hiring your team, creating your brand identity, and marketing yourself to build a client base from zero. It's a true blank slate. Buying an existing salon is a different approach. In that case, you're purchasing a business that's already up and running. You're inheriting the location, the build-out, the equipment, often some or all of the staff, and an existing client base. You're basically stepping into someone else's shoes and taking over what they've already built. Neither approach is automatically better. The right choice really depends on your experience, your financial situation, your tolerance for risk, and what you want your salon to look and feel like in the long run. Let's talk about opening a salon from scratch and why a lot of owners are drawn to this path. One of the biggest advantages is complete creative control. When you build from the ground up, every decision is yours. You decide the vibe of the space, the decor, the layout, the services you offer, your pricing, your branding, and the products you stock. Everything from the music that plays to the way clients are greeted can be designed to reflect your vision. If you're a stylist or entrepreneur with a strong creative identity, and you've always pictured your salon a certain way, this kind of freedom can be incredibly rewarding. Another major advantage is that you don't inherit anyone else's problems. When you buy an existing business, you might also be buying hidden baggage. That can include bad online reviews, a reputation in the community that isn't great, old equipment that's on its last legs, a team that's unhappy or not aligned with your standards, or messy systems behind the scenes. When you start fresh, you avoid all of that. You're not walking into someone else's history. You're building your own story from day one. You also get to build your own culture from scratch. Culture is how your salon feels to the people who work there and the clients who visit. It's your standards, your communication style, the way your team treats each other, and how you handle problems. When you open a new salon, you set the tone from the beginning. You hire people who fit your values, you establish your expectations, and you create the environment you believe in. Changing an existing culture can be very difficult. Creating a new one, while still challenging, is usually much easier. On top of that, starting from scratch allows you to create a modern setup. Because you're designing it now, you can choose current, efficient equipment, modern sales-on software, and a layout that supports how you want to run your business today, not how someone else ran it 10 years ago. You can think about things like guest flow, retail placement, photo-friendly lighting, and even content creation spaces from the start, instead of trying to retrofit an old space to fit new needs. Now, those are strong advantages, but there are real downsides to opening from scratch that you need to factor in. The first is higher upfront costs. Building out a commercial space from an empty shell or from a previous non-salon use can be expensive. You're paying for construction, plumbing and electrical upgrades, furniture, stations, shampoo bowls, dryers, color bars, front desk or reception area, software, and initial product inventory. On top of that, you're investing in branding, signage, your website, and marketing to let people know you exist. All of that happens before you've built a steady flow of clients. The second major disadvantage is that you have no immediate revenue. On day one, even if you have a small following from behind the chair, your new salon doesn't have an established client base. It often takes months to build enough momentum for your books to be consistently filled. That can be stressful if you have rent, utilities, payroll, and loan payments due every month with only a trickle of revenue coming in at the beginning. That leads directly into the third downside, a longer path to profitability. Because you're starting at zero, your break-even point is usually further out into the future compared to buying a salon that's already generating income. This means you need enough financial runway to cover your expenses and support yourself while the business grows. If you underestimate how long that takes, things can get tight very quickly. The fourth challenge is that you're building everything yourself. Every system, every process, every policy, every vendor relationship, you're creating all of it. You're deciding how bookings are handled, how inventory is tracked, how staff are paid, how you handle cancellations and late arrivals, how you manage marketing and social media, and so on. There's a lot of trial and error as you figure out what works. For some people, that's exciting. For others, it's overwhelming. Now let's talk about buying an existing salon and why that can be a really smart move, especially for a first-time owner. One of the biggest advantages is the immediate client base. When you buy a salon that's already operating, you usually get clients who are already loyal to that location and to some of the stylists working there. That means revenue from day one. Instead of slowly building from zero, you're starting with money coming in, which can dramatically reduce the pressure you feel in those early months. You also gain the benefit of existing infrastructure. The space is already built out as a salon, the stations. The chairs, the shampoo bowls, the dryers, the back bar, they're all there. The salon may already have established relationships with product vendors and distributors, which can make your operations smoother from the start. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're taking over a wheel that's already turning and looking for ways to make it spin better. Because of that, buying an existing salon often gives you a faster path to profitability. With revenue already flowing, your job becomes protecting and growing what's there, rather than fighting just to get people in the door. For first-time owners, that financial cushion can make the entire experience feel more manageable and less like a constant emergency. Another key advantage is that you're getting a proven location. If the salon has been open for a while and has been at least somewhat successful, that's proof that the area works for a salon business. You already know that people are willing to come there, park there, and spend money there. When you build from scratch, choosing the wrong location can hurt you for years. Buying an existing salon removes a lot of that location risk. Of course, buying a salon also comes with challenges. The first is that you inherit the existing reputation. You're not starting with a blank slate. If previous owners didn't manage things well, there might be negative online reviews, unhappy clients, or a damaged reputation in the local community. Even if you improve everything behind the scenes, it can take time and effort to change how people perceive the business. You may also experience less creative freedom, at least initially. While you can rebrand and remodel over time, doing it too quickly or drastically can risk alienating the clients who currently support the business. You might need to keep certain elements of the brand, the pricing structure, or the service menu in place to avoid shocking your existing client base. If your personal vision is very different from what the salon is known for, that can feel restrictive for a while. There's also the possibility of hidden problems. Some of these can be physical. Equipment that looks okay but is close to breaking down, plumbing or electrical issues in an older building, or a layout that's not very efficient. Others can be operational. A team culture that's unhealthy, staff who are planning to leave once the owner changes, or systems that are disorganized. And then there's the financial side. Sometimes the numbers you see on paper don't tell the full story, so due diligence is absolutely critical. Finally, you have to think about the purchase price. When you buy a salon, you're paying not just for the physical items, but also for the goodwill and the client base the business has built. If the salon is profitable and has a strong, loyal following, that upfront price can be substantial. In comparison, leasing an empty space might look cheaper at first, even though you then take on build-out and setup costs. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the financial picture in general terms. Opening a traditional salon from scratch usually means substantial capital going into the build-out, equipment, furniture, inventory, branding, and initial marketing. The bulk of your spending is front-loaded before you have reliable revenue. Buying an existing salon shifts some of that spending into the purchase price, while often reducing what you need to spend on build-out and equipment in the short term. The ongoing operating costs, rent, utilities, payroll, product, will exist in both scenarios, but how you get to profitability and how quickly will look different. So which option might fit you best? You might lean toward opening from scratch if you have a very clear, unique vision for your brand, and you care a lot about having complete control over every aspect of the business. It helps if you have access to enough capital, and you're mentally prepared for a longer runway to profitability. This path fits people who are comfortable building systems and processes from nothing, and who see a gap in their local market, a type of sale on a level of experience, or a niche that isn't being served yet. You might lean toward buying an existing salon if you want immediate revenue and a shorter path to profitability. This can be a strong choice if you're comfortable inheriting an existing operation and then gradually improving it, rather than building everything from the ground up. It tends to work well for people who have strong business skills or who are willing to learn the business side quickly, and who like the idea of optimizing what already exists. If you value a proven location and existing client relationships, buying can offer a level of security that starting from scratch doesn't. There's also a third option to consider, the salon franchise model. A franchise can offer a kind of middle ground. You get brand recognition, a playbook of proven systems, training, and ongoing support. You don't have to design the brand, service menu, or operating procedures from scratch, because much of that is provided for you. However, this comes with its own costs. There's usually an initial franchise fee, often around $35,000 USD, plus ongoing royalty fees that are typically around 5 to 6% of your revenue. For first-time owners who want structure and support and like the idea of plugging into a proven concept, this can be attractive, but it's essential to factor those ongoing fees into your long-term financial planning before you commit to any path. Opening from scratch, buying existing, or franchising, it's important to do some homework. Start by assessing your finances honestly. How much capital do you really have, including what you can access through savings, loans, or investors? How long could you keep the business running and pay yourself something if profits take longer to show up than you expect? Next, evaluate your experience. Are you more of a builder who gets excited about creating everything from the ground up? Or are you more comfortable stepping into something that already exists and refining it? Do you have experience running or helping to run a salon? Or will a more structured franchise model or an existing operation give you more support? Then, research your local market. Look at how many salons are in your area, what they offer, and who they serve. Is there room for a new, differentiated concept that your from-scratch salon could fill? Or is there an existing salon for sale that already has a strong base you could take over and improve? Talk to other salon owners who have gone down these paths. Find people who have built salons from scratch and people who have bought existing salons. Ask them what they wish they had known before they started, what surprised them, and what they might do differently next time. Real-world stories from owners who have already walked this road are incredibly valuable. And finally, get professional help where it matters most. Work with an accountant to review numbers, projections, and whether an asking price for a salon makes sense. Talk with a lawyer before you sign a lease, a purchase agreement, or a franchise contract so you fully understand your obligations and your risks. A bit of expert guidance early on can prevent very expensive mistakes down the line. If you're serious about owning a salon and actually turning a profit, not just creating a beautiful space, but building a real business, understanding the full picture of both buying and opening from scratch is the first step toward making a confident decision. Buying a salon and opening a salon from scratch are both legitimate, proven paths to success in this industry. The best choice for you depends on your vision, your budget, your risk tolerance, and your timeline. Opening from scratch gives you freedom and a blank canvas. Buying an existing salon gives you momentum and proven infrastructure. Neither is automatically better. It's all about which one fits your unique situation, your personality, and the life you're trying to build. Take your time with this decision. Do your homework. Ask questions. Get advice. And remember, the goal isn't just to own a salon. The real goal is to build a business that serves your clients, supports your team, and thrives for years to come. Thank you for watching this episode. If this information is helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow the channel. I hope to see you in the next episode.